Yeah. What's up, chat? How are we doing on a Friday afternoon? A little life in here. I'm Gun, twitter.com/Gundacker. Joined to get to, today. Emphasis on D. Wait, God dang it, Chronic. A bad start. I mean, it's a good, whatever. This is going to be a show.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, you old schoolers, man. You guys are going to enjoy this one. A little Friday. Let's unwind a little bit. How to get Chronic back? Chronic, the people don't know that, you grinded your way through MSU freelancing as a, co-host on this very show that has grown into something special, something big. And you are about to leave us. You're about to go to Australia for a little bit.
Yes, sir. 6 months down under. I'm not sure that I can. We're going to see if we can play some DraftKings down there.
What is that? What did you do? What is that? A Christmas tree? What are you hitting? Stop hitting buttons. What am I looking at?
One of the Discord backgrounds. I don't know. I thought it was cool.
Bro,
I'll turn it off.
But that wasn't there a minute ago, bro. I just looked over.
No, it was just pinged on.
You're like a grandpa that has got like snap filters on and talking to me like a, huh? Oh my gosh.
6 callers ahead of us, Jimmy.
Oh my gosh, chat. How are we doing, chat? Shout out to you guys. Is the chat room just not even working on this thing right now? I don't even know. Shout out to you guys that are out here. Jermaine in the chat, Damien in the chat, Mia Moore in the chat. You guys are awesome for being here already, man. We just did the PrizePicks show. Now we're gonna look at the slate all over again. Maybe a little bit more of a DFS focus and standpoint, but yeah, man, we're sending you off to the land down under in old Australia. So I know you have some concerns whether or not you can still get the action that you get here. But from right here, my boy Jermaine's down there, might be able to have some fun still.
If I could play PrizePicks, I'll be happy. I'll sacrifice a little if I could play some PrizePicks.
I do not believe PrizePicks is available in Australia. I don't think that's a thing. But what is the thing? Last night, Luka Doncic dropped 71 fantasy points on DraftKings, led the entire slate, 40 minutes, 41 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. Trae Young did not go through shooting around, but he did go through balling. I don't know what that was. 38 minutes, 39 real points, 13 assists. Reggie Jackson had 64 fantasy points, Chronic. This is what you're leaving behind.
Jesus.
You're leaving a world where Reggie Jackson dropped 60. DeJounte Murray, 58. Bam Adebayo, no Jimmy Butler up against the Brooklyn Nets, 56. De'Aaron Fox, Ja Morant, Al Horford, all over 50. Horford without Jaylen Brown, I guess he was the way to go. 15 rebounds out of him. I didn't even know he can do that. Cade Cunningham, 53 fantasy points. He got downgraded to questionable today. Jason Tatum, birthday narrative, 52 DraftKings points. Got us that clutch over on PrizePicks. Tyler Hero, 46. And then the rest of the slate, 40s or below. Not a ton of stunners to speak of. Maybe Lonnie Walker, 39. It was 30 real points was not something that we expected. But the rest of the slate wasn't like any anomalic stuff that I didn't think could happen. But that was last night, Chronic. And I know you got onto some PrizePicks as well. That seems to be the way, man. Everyone kind of transitioning from DFS to PrizePicks. And I'm just over here grinding these mean streets of Fanduel.com of DraftKings.
Day by day, brick by brick.
But it's still fun, man. I'm having fun out here. But yeah, man, we're sending Chronic off to Australia, and I can't wait for him to go over there. It's gonna be like a culture shock, first of all. Secondly, I've never listened to an Australian speak and didn't think that's the coolest person on this planet. Like, I just love the Australian accents. They're the best. And then the time change, man. You're going to be watching games at 7 in the morning, I think.
Yeah, I think lock is at 7 or 8 a.m. is going to be, at least I can get some lineups in, obviously, if I'm able to play before work, right? Mm-hmm. So I might be up at like 5 or 6, grinding some research with you guys, because the pre-like chat is still be around that time, and lock is around 7 or 8.
How long do you think it's gonna take to like get adjusted to a sleep schedule for over? Do you think it's gonna like?
I don't think I have a sleep schedule now, so it's gonna be majorly, it's gonna be really different. I think I'm gonna be throwing off big time because the flight itself, like the total travel is like 32 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I'm leaving on Tuesday and I won't get there until Australian Thursday. So imagine basically 48 hours, but it's because of the 14-hour time difference. So it's gonna be crazy, man. But sleep schedule, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild.
I don't know. I want to make jokes, and I don't want to joke. I gotta save some of it. It's whatever.
Man, look, they're talking about everything in Australia can kill you, man. I think like 60% of stuff that can kill humans live in Australia. Talk about an island boy. I'm a city boy. I'm staying.
Oh, okay. Yes, I wanted to have this right before we go live. Chronic goes, I'm gonna change my name to Island Boy Chronic. And I was sitting here, I tilted my head like a confused dog, and then Chronic goes, Australia is technically an island, right? It's surrounded by water?
Yeah, I think if you're surrounded by water on all four sides, you are considered an island. Yes, it's a country, but I'm pretty sure it's an island too. I'm gonna Google it. We'll talk about this later.
No. We're gonna talk about this right now, sir.
I'm gonna qualifications for an island. I'm pretty sure it's an island is a body of water surrounded by a body of land surrounded by water on all sides. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure Australia is an island. Yeah, here we go. I just type it, is Australia an island? Here we go.
It's a continent, bro. I'm pretty sure if once you're big enough to be a continent.
Okay. Man, look, you can't change the rules because of land mass.
Yes.
I disagree.
What?
Bring me Josh. Scientists on this.
Is Australia an island? This guy. Oh my god, bro, you gotta show. Oh my gosh. What's up, chat? Happy Friday. Mia Moore, Michael Durbin, Steve in the chat, Skimmer, Noble, Damien, Jermaine. Jermaine, I believe, is in California. So
Australia, you mean?
Yeah, Australia. I don't know why I said California. California, not an island. Just like Australia, not an island. Chronic. I'll ask Joe Ingles and Ben Simmons if they're islanders.
Island boy.
Shout out to Lorenzo in chat. Says you will be missed on these YouTube streams. Hey, maybe we'll get some. Wait, why is my camera so high? I think my girl moved my monitor playing.
It was high in the PrizePicks. I thought that's just what you wanted it.
Nah, when she plays Ford on my gaming monitor here, she lifts it up. So I didn't realize. Yeah, it's all right. 2/3 says island country Haiti. Landmass description. I'm pretty sure Australia a little bit bigger than Haiti, boys. Island continent. Man, I mean,
I'm hearing island in all those.
I mean, I can't. What up, EB? Mike says, "What Australia isn't an island? Where have I been?" I feel like New Zealand would be closer to. What are we even doing here? I don't even know. Chat, we need to get some plugs out the way. I don't know why the chat. There's the chat. Let's go. Chat, this stream is brought to you by RunDFS.com. That's the place where we don't just play DFS. We run DFS. We don't know geography, but what we do know is usage rates and projections and sports and pre-log voice chats and all that stuff you can be part of by going to RunDFS.com, clicking VIP memberships, getting yourself a membership that's right for you. We have week passes, 2-week passes, month passes. I don't know why the All-Star and the Year Pass is still up there. I probably got to take them down, but if you want to grab those, why you still can, go ahead and do that. And then maybe we have some fun today. It's a Friday. Maybe we'll do like giveaways or something at a light goal. Chronic, what's a light goal we could set our sights on today for me to give away a week pass?
I'm a man of the people, man. So I think 100 was always a good number for me. It made you stretch your pockets a little bit because we always got there. I'm with 100, man.
Bro. See, it's been a minute since you've been on the show, bro. It's been a minute. 100, bro. That's chump change, dog. That's chump.
Is it?
100 is you're 2000 late. Okay. 100, man. You gonna have to
Make
plus.
it happen then for your money, for your outfit.
120, dog. I know my chat can get to 120. All right, the chat you left behind, you got beg and plead for 100. My chat get to 120, bro.
All right, let's see it.
Bet. Let's talk some beachfront. Keeper says beachfront property in Arizona. There we go. Mexico's an island, ain't it?
No, it's connected to the U.S.
Is it connected or is it a Rio Grande?
Like
Rio Grande.
Oh my god.
I'm going off of your logic, bro. Don't make me
next up on the slate.
No, let's talk about I'm just kidding. Let's talk some basketball, guys, man. We're gonna have it's gonna be a fun one. Pacers at the Pistons, game number 1 tonight on both Fanduel, DraftKings, Yahoo PrizePicks, wherever you talk. We're gonna be discussing all 3 of these or all of the games. There's 3 games at lock at 7 p.m. So a little bit different than yesterday. There was 1 game. We got the Pacers at the Pistons. First game on the docket. Projection 25 for the Pacers. Malcolm Brogdon, Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, O'Shea Brissett, Isaiah Jackson taking on Corey Joseph, Cade Cunningham, maybe. He was downgraded to questionable earlier today. Sadiq Bey, Jeremy Grant, and Isaiah Stewart. 230 was the total with a 3-point spread. Let's go pull up NBA Vegas odds and see if there's been any movement. Detroit, they have the Great Lakes in that area, right?
Yep. That's my hometown.
Is Detroit an island? That's just gonna be the new. Why does it look like you're thinking? Hold up.
Southern is not because Michigan. Shut up. Just keep going.
All right. So did they reskin their let's see, static odds. So it actually moved to minus. Looks like it's still at minus 3. So watch out for movement in this game. Or no, it moved 6 points. It looks like no, it's 3. Okay, they reskinned this Vegas insider play, Vegas insider page. So 3-point spread is what we're dealing with here. Keep an eye on the Cade Cunningham news. If he doesn't play, it's going to bolster some usage for Sadiq Bey, for Jeremy Grant. You might see Hamidou Diallo. There was a stretch where Cunningham was out earlier this season, along with guys like Jeremy Grant, and Sadiq Bey and Ham Diallo moved to like 8K players. So up against this Pacers team that has not been defensive stalwarts, maybe we are able to isolate and concentrate some usage spots. We're going to use that on-off court tool in the Add More Funds NBA Wowie product. And let's click Detroit. Detroit just played the Raptors anoche. That's the Spanish, which is a native language of the island of Mexico.
I think Spain's an island, right? I'm bad at geography, man. I'm sorry. I'm gonna shut up.
So you're like, I don't know where the line of joking is.
I'm googling this.
What I wonder where's the point where an island becomes a continent, right? What's the cutoff?
I think it's just landmass, but I still think you could call it an island. I honestly do.
I mean, you could. Sadiq Bey, Jeremy Grant on the court, Cade Cunningham off the court. We got a usage rate of 25% for Jeremy Grant this season, 300-plus minutes there. Nobody gets to a point per minute. However, this game having this total and the Pacers having this defense certainly wouldn't talk you off of getting to some of these Pistons core players, the guys that we could expect 30 minutes from. They still will probably have a pretty wild rotation behind these starters. Guys like, Frank Jackson if he played, Corey Joseph, Killian Hayes, Rodney McGruder, all those cats are live to rotate for 15 minutes apiece. But we essentially expect Sadiq Bey, Jeremy Grant, and even Isaiah Stewart to an extent to get some run. Marvin Bagley's missed a couple games. Looks like he's going to be ready to go. The Pacers seem like the more intriguing side for upside and maybe floor as well. Malcolm Brogdon coming off the heels of a slate where he led the entire league in fantasy points that night. Went to OT. He's 7,200 on FanDuel, 7,600 on DK. Halliburton, 86 on FanDuel, 87 on DK. And Buddy Hield, big minutes out of him, though over 7K with Brogdon and Halliburton back. That's going to be a little bit uncomfortable for me. The front court for the Pacers also been pretty volatile. Oshae Brissett, Isaiah Jackson, Jalen Smith, Lance Stevenson when he gets in the mix, Goga, Terry Taylor. Per minute, like Isaiah Jackson, Brissett, and Jalen Smith all definitely produce, but sinking your teeth in the guy that gets the minutes is a little easier said than done. And on a big slate like this, with prices getting somewhat efficient for the Pacers front court, I'm probably going to reserve the bulk of my interest in deciding what I want to do with Brogdon and Halliburton, and then depending on the Cunningham news, how much Jeremy Grant I want to get to, because I do think no matter what, I want some Jeremy Grant exposure, even if Cunningham was in. And then Sadiq Bey at almost 7K is something that we got to consider. Not something we got to lock in, but something we got to consider. What's standing out to you in this one with this 230 total?
Yeah, so not trying to be the type of person that is always just looking at DVP, but if you're looking at the DVP here, and there's a reason for it, is like DVP plus usage usually gives you a good sentiment of where to go. So the Detroit Pistons gives up the third most points to the point guard position so far this season. It's a juicy matchup for who do you think plays point guard, who lines up, I guess, at point guard for the Pacers. So if you think that is Malcolm Brogdon, who I think he's going to be really popular today, especially if people are game log watchers, he's still under 8K. People see what he can do when he's fully healthy, and the usage is going to be there. I think last game, I think when he's healthy, his usage almost is around 30%. 25 the last game, 24 the games before that, coming back from that injury. So I'm really intrigued with Malcolm Brogdon. I think I'll probably split hairs between the two. I know you said, I agree with you that Halliburton is up there in price. Mm-hmm. At 8,600 against the Orlando Magic, he still drops 44. He's just so involved. I think this is a two-man team, to be completely honest with you, when it comes to usage. So sprinkle in some Halliburton, but for a discount, give me some Malcolm Brogdon. He should get you around 40 DKP today, minimum, in my opinion. So I'm on the Brogdon train.
I'm with that. Chronic, do you think he'll start saying mate?
I was told that mate literally means like a friend, boy, girl. Yeah. So I think I'm going to pick up on some vernacular there. So, yeah, probably.
All right. Chronic, can you look in your Discord settings, check your input sensitivity, and see if there's any way you can turn it down just a smidge? Okay. I adjusted it on stream, but you're bleeding my eardrums right now.
Got you.
All right. Dang Lazy Mofo says, Chronic out here doing a farewell tour. Ramon Sessions and Ben Simmons gonna miss you. Hey, you might run into Ben Simmons.
Screw you guys. Is that better?
Stay stuff.
ICUP. ICUP.
God dang. Yeah.
No.
No, it's better. It's definitely better.
All right. I just dropped it down to 50.
All right. Well. All right. Hey, okay. Go to like 65.
Okay. 1 second.
1.
2.
All right.
It's at 60 right now. How does that sound?
All right. Go to. You went to 50 to 60 or?
Yeah, 50 to 60.
Try 55.
Split the hairs.
Try 55. Yo.
ICUP.
All right.
Hello.
That'll work. That's good. Yeah. All right.
All right.
We'll do that. Chat. We good? That's good. I don't know if the chat was suffering like I was because I tried to mix the audio here. But it literally tickled. Like I don't know if you ever. It like tickled my ears, bro. It was bad.
Really?
Bleeding gums. You can't hear Chronic now. What? All right, maybe I'll have to put up with it. Or no, I see. I mean, I can adjust you, but all right. I think we're good. Josh, you're good. You good? Your chat.
My bad, boys.
Your mate. Your mate. Bro, I need to get you. Oh God, dang it. Oh, I got some homies down there. I just want to. If we can get a bunch of Australian homies to just start shouting "yer," then we can start over.
It's a movement.
We're gonna move on to the Sixers hosting the Cavs. Project 75 for the Cavs. Darius Garland, Isaac Okoro, Larry Markin, and Evan Mobley. Jared Allen taking on Tyrese Maxey, James Harden. Can I start saying stuff with Australian? James Harden, mate. Matisse Thybulle. Tobarius Harris, Joel Embiid, Australian for double-double.
Like this?
I don't know. 216.5 is our total here. 7-point spread for the 76ers here. So what I did like, I was keen to on the on the PrizePicks show an hour ago was Tyrese Maxey. Man, he's kind of getting overlooked on this DK algorithm. He's a $1,200 discount to his Fanduel price, and he's been just fine with this new look offense that James Harden has made him have more open looks and has included him in their what's becoming a new big three in Philly. Tobias Harris, questionable, didn't go through shoot around. He's got an illness. So I was privy to the Tyrese Maxey real points, the point prop on PrizePicks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to type that in there. And I'm going to commentate it as we do. They got him at 16.5, and that's something he has cleared.
Yeah, that's criminal.
Yeah, every game without Harden. Pace wise, this is a game featuring two of the slowest paced teams in the league here. But double digit shot attempts for Maxey, extremely high efficiency rate in those shots, maybe unsustainably efficient. But with Harden out there, with an Embiid out there, I mean, this is like having, being Odell opposite Cooper Kupp, right? People worried about Cooper Kupp. Well, Maxey gets some better looks here. 25, 21, 28 points in his last three games alongside Harden and Embiid. So I do like this spot for Maxey from a PrizePicks perspective, but also from DFS 6,600 might just be a little bit too low. Get on the north side of 30 fantasy points. Just something I wanted to point out. Harden and Embiid, they're going to project for 50 plus. But like I said, if we let the metrics tell the story, the Cavs and the Sixers on the season represent two of the bottom 7 teams in pace. The implied total, the total right now is at 216. So the implied point lines for the Sixers and the Cavs, not really anything to go out of your way to attack at these price points, but a couple of spots where I'll sprinkle in a Harden here or Embiid there and hope for some ceiling. But I do like the Maxey PrizePicks line here. And then you could sell me on some shares of Darius Garland. He returned to the lineup, and they've been struggling to keep guards healthy. 33 minutes against the Hornets in a very lopsided game. Maybe 35, 36, 37 minutes of the game's a little bit more competitive. 20-plus shot attempts for him in that game. I don't mind looking his way for 40 to 50 fantasy points, but not a tier 1, not a tier 2 play, just something that's in the mix. Spin the wheel, make a deal. Put it in the washer. Hey, do washing machines go the other direction down there? Or
I don't believe that they do. The cars are on the left hand side.
Oh
of the
my
road,
god, bro!
And the steering wheel. Yeah, I'm gonna wreck some shit. It's gonna be terrible.
I don't think I could ever do that, bro. My brain is just, yeah. What do you like from Sixers and Cavs?
So a question for you really quick. So I'm curious because I understand that the pace has been slow for the Sixers because we're looking at like the overall pace of the year. I kind of want to say I want to challenge that a little bit. Since Harden been back, I think they've been either the team is just extremely efficient or I think the pace may be running at a higher pace because they haven't scored less than 123 points. Albeit it's been like 3 games, whatever. But that small sample size is not going to move the needle there. But I'm just curious to what you think in terms of do you think they are a little more running and gunning when you have Harden facilitating versus you having Steph Curry just dump it down to Embiid and he's shooting 40 times a game?
So I think it's one game was against the T-Wolves. T-Wolves are a top pace team. One game,
the Knicks.
Yeah. One game was against the Knicks, and there was like a combined 900 free throws. So it just kind of gave them some stoppage time to accumulate, and then it was a run back against the Knicks. But they have been very efficient, and that's something that Embiid has talked about. Is he's getting way more open looks, but I don't think that the sample size is long enough to expect Doc Rivers to change up.
Fair enough. As in this game, I'll be honest with you, I don't really see too much unless you I would say maybe if you're a cash game player, you want to get a easy 50 from Harden or Embiid, but in GPPs, it's not going to do it for you. I would lean, if you're a stud v stud, I would probably lean James Harden over Embiid just because of the front court defense. I'm not saying Embiid's going to, he could be stopped by Jared Allen and Mobley, but, if you take the pass of least resistance, I'd much rather score on Darius Garland and Isaac Okoro than be down there hanging it, basically feeding the monster against Mobley, Jared Allen. I mean, I guess he could cook Kevin Love, but Kevin Love doesn't really play that much anymore. Well, it depends on the game.
Yeah.
So stud be stud. I probably take Harden, but other than that, this game isn't that juicy for me.
Yeah, I'm going to be putting a lot of my salary into some of the names coming up later. Carl-Anthony Towns is one of the biggest spots for me. Matisse Thybulle, if Tobias Harris doesn't play and we get stretched on Thybulle's minutes, maybe look for some steals and blocks props for him. He's averaging essentially 3 stocks per game as is. The Cavs allow the second most steals per game. Would be a fun spot to maybe get into some pickpockets on the Thybulle side. Let's move on to the next game. Atlanta Hawks up against the Washington Wizards. Project starting 5 for the Hawks. Trae Young, Kevin Huerter, DeAndre Hunter, Danilo Gallinari, Clint Capella taking on Raul Neto, Contavious, Caldwell Pope, Corey Kispert, Kyle Kuzma, and Daniel Gafford. I did have Collins listed as questionable. Matter of fact, I didn't even go through.
He's still questionable.
He is. Looks like Dennis Schroeder, doubtful. Collins questionable, Wendell Carter questionable, Kate Cunningham questionable, Tobias Harris questionable, Jared Vanderbilt questionable, Dennis Schroeder, Chris Duarte questionable. Oh yeah.
Chupapi. I'm sorry.
I'm loading the depth chart, but I think it knows, like, we want some cringe, awkward airtime. Let's take our time to load this depth chart and get us the news. There we go. Oh my God! You ever just hit refresh right as the page loads? Like, and then you gotta do it again.
And you gotta go to resets.
That's literally what I just did.
Pain.
I gotta take my hand off the mouse. Goodness gracious! What up, B Mac? What up, Jeremy Savage in the chat? What up, Kay Johnson? How about that Horford call and that Luka RVP call from that referee prop call? It hit. Christmas is Texas is yee or y'all. Yeah. What was I looking at? Oh, I was looking for some John Collins stuff. He's questionable, listed as questionable with a right foot. He has missed 7 straight games. Gallinari starting this play, blah, blah, blah. All right. So anytime a guy goes on a long stretch of being out and then, usually you get a game or two of questionable. This is night 2 of back-to-back, so I guess there is a range of outcomes where they were saving him for this game. But right now, officially questionable. If he doesn't play, we get more of Gallo and Capella in their front court. We know Okongwu's still out with that concussion. A couple of minutes there for Gorgie Zhang. And then I do like looking at Bogdan Bogdanovic on DraftKings. Really good shot at 30 fantasy points essentially every time he touches the court in this split lately without John Collins. So I guess if John Collins was out again, if you needed some 150 lineup big field stuff to sprinkle in there, Bogdanovic hasn't got you less than 28 fantasy points in his last 6-7 games, and his price is not really moving the way it should be. So I would be putting Bogdanovic in my DK pool, so someone to watch it. And then Trae Young at 9,100 on FanDuel. Very disrespectful for his ceiling. We know his floor can be a little bit flimsy, but 30 real points, 10 assists, and go from there is usually not an outlandish starting point. So I don't mind that. And then on the other side, Kyle Kuzma has been the bulk of my interest from the Wizards game to game. I feel like at this 9K price point for FanDuel and DraftKings, I'll have more exposure to Kyle Kuzma real points on PrizePicks, which I thought was very attackable. I think they had him at like 20 and a half real points. I do think 20-plus shot attempts and near 40 minutes in a game that stays competitive would kind of bode well for him to exceed 20 real points. So I do like looking at Kuzma a lot more on PrizePicks, but I don't mind getting to a little share or two of them on DFS because he does have 60-plus fantasy point potential. And matchup-wise, the Atlanta Hawks, I believe they're bottom 4 in defensive efficiency. So if you're going to have the highest usage on your team, lead the team in minutes against a bottom 4 defense, you're live to be a great play. So give me a little bit of Kuzma there, but I like the Kuzma real points. Trae Young at 9,100 on FanDuel. I like that a lot. And then Capella, if Collins was out again with Okongwu on the shelf, 30-plus fantasy points for Capella is live. 40-plus is also live against a Wizards team that does give up a decent amount of points in the paint, and rebounding-wise, they leave a lot to be desired, especially on the offensive glass. So I do like a couple spots here, a 220-plus total. Chronic, any gut calls on this one?
I wish that the Washington Wizards had like a full-time point guard, because I love playing point guards against Trae Young defense. It's like it's a print machine, but picking between Raul Neto and Ish Smith is, you basically are throwing money away at that point. So I wouldn't do that. The only thing I'm really interested in here, Clint Capella. I think we pick on the Washington front court. If you're telling me I'm getting 30 minutes of Clint Capella against Thomas Bryant, or who's the other backup? Is it Montrezl Harrell still?
No, Montrezl Harrell got traded to the.
Oh yeah, he's on the Hornets now. Duh. Yeah, but it's who's the Thomas Bryant, that guy.
Thomas Bryant, Daniel Gafford.
And Daniel Gafford. That's okay. Yeah, bums basically is what I'm saying here. And I'm assuming you never really have a good usage rate on Clint Capella, just because his shot attempts are never really there. Mm-hmm. But if you're looking at blocks steals, so can you get those stocks to help get you there? This is the matchup to do it. It sucks, like I say, he doesn't have a high usage. He's never, not never, but when's the last time he scored 20 points? Probably couldn't tell you. But I think Clint Capella at 6,200, a good little sprinkle of a stocking stuffer, excuse me. But there's nothing I'm really in love with in this game, just to be frank.
Yeah, I'm wait, I thought you were Chronic. I'm getting 36 fantasy points on my projection, which I'll take at 6,200 and go from there. Last night, 31 fantasy points in 33 minutes against the Bulls. Vucevic will stretch out a little bit more. Definitely should have had another rebound or two. Early on, there was guards. Don't you hate when guards vulture rebounds? But I do like looking at Clint Capella on DK at 6,200. Again, I'm selling out for ceiling on these big slates. And if John Collins were to be in, we had seen Capella lose minutes in the fourth quarter and many games down the stretch.
Don't play him if Collins is ruled in. I'm thinking completely if Collins is out. Mm-hmm. And to be honest with you, I mean, yes, and I get what you're saying, because there's some really big center spots, as we're going to talk about in the next 3 or 4 games here, that I would just sprinkle them in. On DK, you have a util spot as well. So, but like on FanDuel, you're asking me if I'm eating up a center spot with Clint Capella. No, I'm not.
Philly, middle of the pack now. Yeah. All right. The Wizards rotating Raul Neto, Ish Smith, and now Tomas Satoransky coming back. There's not much for me to like outside of Kuzma. I will say you probably catch me with a share or two of Contavious Caldwell-Pope. I'm getting a high 20s projection on him. His line or his price has not really moved much as well. So something I do like there. And we'll move on to the next one here. Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Chicago Bulls. This game with a stupendous 240 total, just like WrestleMania.
Insane.
You see, that's the WrestleMania tagline, stupendous.
Mm-hmm.
Who says that?
Vince.
Well, this game should be stupendous. And my boy Josh, Narrative Friday, laid out a lot to maybe keep an eye on for this game. For
ejection game.
Yeah. So I mean, Alex Caruso is literally been out with a broken wrist or broken, and it all stemmed from a dirty play with Grayson Allen, right? Mm-hmm. And Grayson Allen, I think he only had to serve 1 game as a suspension. And a lot of people on the Bulls, a lot of players didn't quite agree with that. There's been murmurs about some revenge to be had here. So there's your narrative for this one to see if things start happening. And then Josh was telling me that Tristan Thompson had tweeted, and maybe I can look this up on Twitter. But Josh was telling me Tristan Thompson tweeted something essentially implying that he's going to have Caruso's back here, and Bobby Portis liked the tweet. So Twitter fingers make this game a little bit more interesting, I suppose. I try to look up Tristan Thompson Twitter, and I don't think that anything that I'm looking at is Tristan Thompson. To give the people something to look at. But anyway, a little bit of narrative there. As far as matchup goes, though, two of the top teams in the Eastern Conference here, Bulls night 2 of a back-to-back. You do worry about some things, but matchup-wise, if you can get full quarters of 240 total with Giannis Antetokounmpo in the mix, you know that 60, 70 fantasy points as an outcome for Giannis Antetokounmpo does exist. And then on the Bulls side, if they're going to be live for 115 to 120 real points, we know Zach LaVine and DeRozan, if they live up to their season averages, 25, 28 real points per game, there's a spot where maybe they go above their expectations. So I think this game will be really, really fun to target for fantasy, for DFS, and then maybe fun to watch from a narrative standpoint. Maybe some people get the old heave ho.
Yeah, man. TT's basically talking like he's about to check in and Superman punch Grayson Allen. So
for me,
that'd be interesting to watch.
The funniest thing is like Tristan Thompson's been on the team for a week.
Yeah,
it's like you wouldn't even hear. It's like
you messing with my dogs. Like what?
Huh? What? We just met you. Anyway. But from a DFS standpoint, I like Giannis here. I like DeRozan. I like LaVine the most. I think LaVine has the cheapest price of the big three from the Bulls, 77 on Fanduel, 8K on DraftKings. And if we continue to seek out what we've been targeting against Milwaukee all year, these are 3-point shooters. And I'm looking at
shooters in the gym.
Yeah, when I look at the Bulls, I think 3-point shooters. I think Kobe White. But then I think, LaVine is probably second or third in terms of volume and efficiency. So if I give LaVine the edge because of 34-plus minutes, I think he's going to chuck, amongst the most threes on the team. I think Kobe White might get the double digits, but A.K. LaVine certainly has room for upside. He did not play that last game against Milwaukee, and even though this game's a 240 total, that last game went under 200, so we're getting a lot more expected offense. So I do like the thought of LaVine here just from a metrical standpoint, something to keep an eye on. So maybe I'll have a lot of Giannis versus LaVine lineups tonight. And then DeRozan, the mid-range jumper king at almost 10K. He's back on the south side of 10K on both FanDuel and DK. He's not somebody we think of when shooting threes. However, he has outperformed a lot of expectations all year. So even in spots where I doubt him, spots that I think should be a LaVine game, DeRozan has shown us 30 real point potential, so I'll probably have some DeRozan, but his 10K price point, like I need that 50 plus fantasy points on a slate like this, so I do feel like I get a better bargain points per dollar when considering ceiling at price point on LaVine. So I am going to be looking at LaVine quite a bit. I don't think we're getting a big deal on Kobe White at almost 6K. I wish this was one of those spots where he was under 5K. I think he could thrive in a spot that does push his threes here. But what's standing out to you on this Bucks and Bulls game?
Yeah, man, I do like the Kobe White. I think he'd be a sneaky sub, probably 5%, at 5,800 on DraftKings, just for, the shot that he gets hot and his, he's going to get anywhere minimum probably 27, 28 minutes in this game. Consistently, he's been playing around that, especially with these guys being out in the backcourt. So, especially considering that Ayo Dosunmu is not really a shooter, So if you think, okay, this is how we beat the team, maybe we get some more run to one of the better shooters, which is Kobe White. So I could definitely see that. Not really super in love with it. My favorite play in this game is going to be the armored Titan, Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think he's going to be a terror. We talk about bigs beating up on the Chicago Bulls, and he plays in the paint, right? Giannis can shoot a little bit. It's kind of funny saying that, right? Giannis can actually shoot, but he can shoot a little bit. But I think this is an easy point for like a 30-point double-double for him in this game. I like his prize picks over, as I was talking about in the chat in the last stream. DeMar DeRozan on the Bulls side, like DeRozan, Vooch, or LaVine, I'm with you on that. I'm not going to basically just repeat everything you said, but I definitely like LaVine just because he's the more perimeter oriented player. So maybe some LaVine, give me a little bit of Kobe White just as, a shot in the dark, 150 entries type of thing. And but I would have like anywhere from like 15 to 20% Giannis today.
if Bobby Portis stays in this game,
Ejection narrative.
a little revenge narrative, right? Back in Chicago, have a little fun with that. Bobby Portis has put together a couple of high ceiling games, and this price point being on the south side of 7K on DraftKings does leave 40 plus fantasy points to be live, to be optimal. And centers have certainly thrived against the Bulls. You mentioned some of the points in the paint woes, also some rebounding woes. So if Bobby Portis can continue 15, 20 real points while also grabbing double-digit rebounds, something like this Charlotte game, something like this Brooklyn game, there certainly is some upside to be had for Bobby Portis as long as he hangs around there. Did you see that clip the other day of Tristan Thompson just brick it?
Is he right-handed though? I'm pretty sure he was practicing. He was shooting left-handed. Actually, I'm watching it right now. I'm not sure if he's right-handed, but like, what's going on? Like, he's not shooting good at all.
Missing like that, he better be right-handed and have two left feet because it was hard to watch. So he should be the fall guy to throw a punch and get ejected if if he's gonna be shooting like that. So yeah, you can give me some Bobby Portis to 6,600. Giannis Antetokounmpo. If we look at player projections, my early run, I think I had Giannis. Giannis was second to just Jokic, and of course Jokic. We think about standard deviation. We think about potential blowouts. Jokic is in a spread against the Rockets that could go awry, though he is coming off a game where they kind of let the Thunder come in and take their smile. So Giannis has the potential to be the highest raw point scorer on the slate, and usually on the bigger slates, guys that can get you 60, 70 raw points fantasy-wise certainly find themselves with a high probability to be optimal because there's more games, more potential value to target. So we'll keep an eye on that, and we also keep an eye on this like button. Chat, we set 120 likes on this stream, and we'll throw out a free week pass of RunDFS.com. So make sure you hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, hit subscribe and ring that notifications bell. Chronic, I feel like the last time you were on the stream, this channel had like less than 5K subs, and since then,
nah, you were still on the road to 6K. I think you had like maybe 56, 5,700. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's what. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
high end 5K is what I mean.
You sure know how to derail a good segue. You know that?
No, so
Jesus
sorry,
sakes, bro. Jesus sakes, bro. So just go with it. God dang it.
Not bad.
These island boys, man.
You know the vibes.
No, I don't even want to do the drop. Anyway, we're trying to get to 7K subs on the channel. So if you're out there and you're enjoying the vibes and smiling while getting some DFS content, hit that sub button, man. If you have your subs or your subs public, you'll actually get a nice little notey on the stream here, and it'll be fun. But yes, we are at 6,638 subs, so we broke 6,300 yesterday. Also broke 3K followers on Twitter yesterday.
And
then we've also launched a free Discord for you YouTubers to be able to chat 24/7, not just during the 2-3 hours a day that we're live. Is something that I'm excited about. And the first 100 of you that get into that Discord will be given the first 100 roll. And I feel like we got to be awfully close to filling out that. So if you guys haven't already, it's in the description below. I'm sure if my girl is awake, she'll drop a link as well. But we saw some screenshots. They've been steady posting screenshots. Last night, Josh and his props, man. My man cleared 2K. You saw the screenshots. Josh went nuts on PrizePicks last night. But also guys in our community, Nathan said he hit plus 10 units last night. Mock in the chat, he posted a nice little $100 return here. Honestly, nice little $75. So no matter what the return is, as long as we're seeing dubs, I'm happy, and it makes me happy that you guys are filling up this community. And I'm really focused on this being a high vibe Discord, right? The world has enough toxic gambling discords, and my unit is bigger than your unit type of stuff. That's not what that is. If that's who you are, man, keep that somewhere else, man. We just want to see everyone be great. So if you want to join that Discord, the link is in the description below. And we're going to jump on to the next game, Toronto Raptors. The Raptors of Toronto, Canada, not an island, hosting the Orlando Magic. Florida, almost an island, according to Chronic. Magic projected starting five: Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, Wendell Carter Jr., and Mo Bamba. He's got hoes calling.
I hate that part of the bit. I wish you stopped doing that.
I only do it when you're here because
really,
yeah. Raptors: Malachi Flynn, Gary Trent, Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, and Kem Birch. There is no Fred VanVleet for the third game in a row, it looks like, and the lineup should look a lot like what we saw last night, and the minutes should look a lot like what we saw last night in the last couple of games where Gary Trent, Scotty Barnes, Siakam play, and Malachi Flynn play well into the 30s, with Scotty Barnes live to play 40 minutes. So keeping an eye on that. And where's Mo Bamba from? He's not from Canada, is he?
He's definitely not from Canada.
No, I don't know. Well, the Wendell Carter is questionable. The Wendell Carter is questionable. And Markelle Fultz, they've been easing him back into the mix. He's listed as out, so we might be able to elevate our minute projections on Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, and Terrence Ross coming back to LeBronto, as Raj would say. It might be a little fun click in deep fill tournaments. I think ultimately, I'm not running to get to a lot of Magic anything. If Wendell Carter didn't play, we have seen Chuma Okeke have big tournament games this season. He's not really 3K or 4K special, 5.7 and 5K. Need that 30-plus fantasy points. Feel like I'm in a good spot. I think the bulk of my interest is going to be on the Raptors side. And Scotty Barnes at DraftKings 6,300 is probably going to be my favorite line. But I didn't hate the PrizePicks line for Scotty Barnes. I thought that was kind of soft if he does get another 40-minute game. They have him at 33 fantasy points. And Scotty Barnes, if you're going to get 40 minutes against a bottom four defense like the Orlando Magic, 33 fantasy points over, that's the result you're going to get. I'm kind of digging that. So are you with me on having more Raptors? I'm going to say more love for Raptors in this game than Magic, and what stands out to you?
Yeah, I usually don't pick on the Raptors defense overall. I think they're pretty solid, especially with VanVleet in. So, yeah, I'm all over Malachi Flynn. I think he's a top 3 to 4 value play on the slate today. At 3,900, he's still a sub 4K. I know we're going to talk about Malik Beasley in a couple of games because he's 3,200. But I think Malachi Flynn could do it without scoring. He's not as scoring dependent as Malik Beasley will be. If Malik Beasley is not scoring 15 real points, let's say he's not hitting value, right? Because he's 3,200, but he's not really doing too much for you. He score 17 points and have 20 DKP. So Malachi Flynn, I really, really like. I'm all over that today. You tell me he's under 4K and he's going to get the same 35 to 37 minute run as a lot of these other guys, a lot of these starters. I'm all over that as well. So I really enjoyed that. I'm going to pick up on that. I'm not playing Gary Trent. He burns me every time I play him.
What?
But I'm not a fan. But Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam as well. I think Siakam is going to be slept on. And I know with Malachi Flynn being in the lineup has taken away some of that assist equity that he's been known to get when Fred VanVleet is out. Mm-hmm. I kind of want to say I don't care. I still think Siakam is in a smash spot, especially if Wendell Carter sits. But even if he doesn't, I think he's in the spot to drop 50 on you, for you. So give me some of that as well. He's been in a slump lately, though. I would say that. So that's going to be one of those unsexy plays. He's going to be under 15% owned, most likely. He hasn't hit over 40 in a long time, since the middle of February. So, like I say, it's a riskier play. I'm not touting it to say, hey, smash him in. But I like it. I think he's in a good spot right now.
So Pascal Siakam, we mentioned his assist rate being elevated without VanVleet. There was a big stretch this season where when VanVleet missed, they didn't introduce another guard into the mix. They just moved everyone up and added another big to the mix. Well, Malachi Flynn's kind of changed that in the last couple of games. So I guess to narrow down the assist rate, which is what I was interested in finding. Siakam with Flynn on the court, with VanVleet off the court. Assist rate for Siakam is at 27%. So it's still, high 20s, something that we can look at. But really it's the point per minutes that I like. Anything over 1 point per minute on a Nick Nurse starting minute rotation is something that I am interested in. And Malachi Flynn, this is a DraftKings thing. 3,900. Why? Why?
He's 6,200 on FanDuel. Wow. Yeah, I would have like 90% of him today. Just not say off that alone. But considering that you want to pay up at the forward position, the center position today, I'll forego that. That'd be an easy spot in my lineup.
Chronic. I had a apparently they make buffalo chicken hot pockets. And,
I feel like I've heard of that before, but haven't had it.
I made 2, and I don't like buffalo. I only ate 1, but I guess there was like a spicy seed that just found its way out of a tooth.
Hate to see it.
And I don't have a drink, so I'm just like, I'm
feeling
it right now.
Yeah, I used to have braces, so that happened to me all the time. Where it's like, that was yesterday's lunch. Not yesterday's, obviously. I brushed my teeth. But you get the point.
I got so much tartar, I don't have to dip my fish sticks in.
Oh, man.
Oh, I love Mitch Hedberg. That was funny. You ever seen that bit? He said, he said, every time I tell that joke, I have to immediately clarify that it's a joke. And he said, if you line me up with all these people in order of who has the least tartar to most tartar, I'd be right in the effing middle.
Middle of the pack.
I love Mitch Hedberg. So funny. What up, Alex McCormick says, thoughts on Embiid, 9.5 free throws made. Yeah, Embiid, Harden get to the line at a very high clip. Embiid certainly could and Harden sucker some more fouls against these 7-footers in that Cavs lineup, especially the defensive-minded guys like Evan Mobley. Maybe Embiid catches them slipping. 9.5 is kind of an elevated number to go after, so it's not something that's on any of my slips right now, but it's certainly justifiable considering the matchup.
Josh Allen isn't really a hacker in terms of, he doesn't get in foul trouble too often, but obviously it's not many centers in the league like Embiid who have the refs whistle. So I know Allen loves to go for blocks and get those steals. So him reaching in, I can see him being in trouble today.
Josh Allen, definitely.
Jared Allen, jeez, I'm rusty. I'm so rusty.
You would take your butt back to Ulster.
You were talking about Buffalo, man. I don't know.
That was good. That was good. Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bill. What?
Jesus, I said Josh Allen. I hear it. Yep. Yeah, I did say it.
Yeah, man, there's some blemishes in your Utah Jazz.
Little rusty.
A little bit. Huh? Utah Jazz at the New Orleans Pelicans. Project started 5 for the Jazz. Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Bojan Bogdanovic, Royce O'Neal, Rudy Gobert. Taking on C.J. McCollum, Brandon Ingram, Herbert Jones, Jackson Hayes, and Jonas Valanciunas. So we got a 2-2-2 and another 1-2 is our total. What a 4-point spread for the Utah Jazz. A little bit different look spread-wise for the Utah Jazz. They were just 15-point favorites against the Houston Rockets, and Rockets kind of took them 12 rounds here. They're giving a little bit more respect to the Pelicans. Pelicans with McCollum, with Ingram, they're kind of finding their stride. Relegated friend of the channel, Devontae Graham, to the bench. And they're projecting the Pelicans to kind of keep this a game here. So whenever you can get a full game out of some of these Jazz players, you always want to keep Donovan Mitchell in mind. And maybe look at a guy like Rudy Gobert, 8-3, 8-2 on DraftKings. 40-plus fantasy points is probably the starting point. Kind of like Capella. He doesn't get a ton of shots, but he gets a ton of rebounds and a ton of blocks. And against the Pelicans, certainly a team that can shoot enough and miss enough that this could be one of those upside rebound spots for a guy like Rudy Gobert. So those are two names I wanted to explore. Bojan Bogdanovic getting to a really dangerous $4,600 price tag on FanDuel. On the Pelican side, CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, and J Val are typically the bulk of my interests on that team. But lately, more McCollum interest, more Ingram interest. Ingram around 8K on both sites, and CJ McCollum around 9K on both sites. I definitely need north side of 40 for both, but I probably need north side of 50 from a guy like McCollum on this slate. So, do you have any front end interest here? I usually with the Jazz, I'm a little bit skittish, but I could understand the Jazz on the road, little road stretch here being a little bit different. I mean, we always talk about. I don't know what I'm gonna say. I was saying, is there a different? Is there a more? I guess it would be Denver to New Orleans. I don't know. Anyway, I'm trying to think of like the lowest altitude versus highest altitude.
Oh yeah, the type of
like,
yeah.
And New Orleans is below sea level, right? So I guess Denver.
It is.
All right. Anything you like from this game, or is this kind of not making the cut for you?
I want to like this game because it's one of the highest totals on the slate, right? I want to say maybe it's third or fourth, maybe fourth or fifth, because you got that Pelicans game. Not the Pelicans, the Timberwolves game is really high, and the Denver game is really high as well. The Denver-Houston game. So I want to like a pick out of here, but I don't want to go, fishing in shallow water. Maybe you could talk me into some Herbert Jones as a sprinkle for some value at under 4,500 on DraftKings. Maybe you could talk me into Rudy Gobert, maybe like a 2020 game, considering that he is going against Jonas Valanciunas. He's more of a traditional center than somebody who's going to draw Rudy Gobert out to the 3-point line, which he usually gets cooked. No. So at that point, maybe you could talk me into that, but I'm not in love with any of these plays here from a value standpoint. Even Donovan Mitchell, he just dropped 61 last game, right, against the Rockets.
Yeah, Rockets are terrible, though.
It's the Rockets, though. Yeah, exactly. And he's been extremely scoring dependent. He had 10 assists last game, but 5 in the last couple. And he went off against the Lakers, but the Lakers are, trash too. So, yeah, I'm probably going to stay away from most of these games. It's probably a fade for me.
Yeah. Some shares of Gobert and Mitchell for me, but I definitely need ceiling outcomes. So I think there's going to be other spots that project a little bit more friendly, but I don't think we get a ton of ownership in a lot of these plays here. So if you can give me some ceiling outcomes at low ownership, I'll throw them in the spin cycle, mate.
Why are you like this,
mate? 160. We're 168 viewers. Yo, shout out to all you guys watching on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button. We get to 120 likes today, we'll give away a week pass of RunDFS.com Premium. Let's move on to the next game. The Minnesota Timberwolves up against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Patrick Beverley, D'Angelo Russell, Jaden McDaniels, Jared Vanderbilt, Karl Anthony Towns, the Big Cat, Ernie Ladd taking on SGA, Trey Mann, Alexei Pokusevsky, Darius Baisley, and Isaiah Roby. This Thunder, like Josh said, this looks like a hockey team. 231 total, 9.5 point spread in favor of the visiting T-Wolves. Thunder have more guys out on my spreadsheet than in. I'm sure they're gonna have some more scrubs added to the name list here, but this could be a game that has a couple different true outcomes. One, the T-Wolves could blow the Thunder out. It's a 9.5 point spread. Leave the door open for that. Two, the Thunder should just be too dumb to know they're supposed to get blown out, like they were against the Denver Nuggets, where they pulled off upset against the MVP and his team. And three, there's no Anthony Edwards here, so we can concentrate usage a little bit stronger. D'Angelo Russell, Karl Anthony Towns, two guys that would key in on. I love Cat a whole heck of a lot today. I think his Fanduel price point is horribly inefficient for the matchup for no Anthony Edwards. The Thunder have been a top matchup for centers all year in terms of fantasy points allowed. And then if you parlay that with the fact that Cat has a 1.4 fantasy points per minute production rate without Anthony Edwards this season, this is a massive, massive spot. So I do think 9,300 on FanDuel is going to be something that is easily going to be one of my highest owned plays, but definitely my highest owned center. And I've already targeted him on a couple of PrizePicks lines. The absence of Anthony Edwards does create some value opportunities. It sounds like you in the chat, several several cats I've been in some group chats with are high on Malik Beasley at 3,200 on DraftKings. Certainly wouldn't talk you off that ledge. It is a very, very cheap way to sprinkle in some value to maybe open up your salary for some studs. He got 28 minutes against Golden State, 33 fantasy points in that game. I do want to put a little context to that because that game was a little different than initially projected. So we'll pull up the Minnesota minute logs. Malik Beasley, he closed out the fourth quarter with Jordan McLaughlin and Jada McDaniels.
The bum squad.
Yeah, so it wasn't like half the quarter, but there's a couple minutes of bum squad. So I don't know. But it does stand to reason that without Anthony Edwards, Malik Beasley should get plenty of run here. And then Jaden McDaniels, if he can stay out of foul trouble, which that's easier said than done. He had 5 fouls in that last game. I guess I would be more privy to Beasley here in this 3,200 DK. It's easier to remember how Beasley would have those spike games with Denver and the T-Wolves, but it's hard to forget several games where he didn't quite spike in similar opportunities. So I don't want this to be a chalk bust situation because we've had a lot of chalk value busting in the last week. Trey Lyles, paint stuff like that. So I do like the DK price. So I think that's going to be unavoidable. I'm getting a solid 20 plus fantasy point projection there, and then just matchup wise, you can easily justify Beverly, D-Russ, and Cat, and even Jared Vanderbilt. So as much as this match has been fruitful for opposing centers, it's also one of the better matchups in basketball in terms of blocks per game and creating some of those defensive peripherals. And Vanderbilt, Tar, and Prince, those are guys that can definitely capitalize in minutes there. And Vanderbilt does have a Q tag. In this game, he had a Q tag last game, ended up playing through it. On the Thunder side, if we game script this game to stay competitive, stay close, SGA, he's got to be a big part of it. The T-Wolves do run a fast-paced, porous defense. So SGA, while it might be uncomfortable for fantasy at 10K, he's showing us that, hey, he could be live for DFS and get his 50, 60 fantasy points. So he might be somebody that we begrudgingly throw in the back end of our player pool. I can't imagine that he's going to be attached to a lot of ownership at 10K, but it wouldn't stun me if he did rise into the 20 percentile. 49, 67, 60 fantasy points in his last 3 games. Sacramento and Indiana, more comparable to the matchup from the T-Wolves today. However, I don't know, Vanderbilt. There's a couple of scrappers on the T-Wolves that I feel like an offense this bad, like the Thunder, they've been consistently one of the worst offensive teams in basketball. It's not necessarily a plus to have Edwards out and replace it with potentially another defensive-minded guy. But SGA would be the catalyst to keep this game close. He's going to lead the team in usage, probably lead the team in minutes in a competitive game. And then per minute, Pokusevski's a beast. And we know Derek Favors is out. Mike Muscala is out. This front court is going to be guys like Baisley, Roby, and a couple of other bigs here. So anything standing out to you? Do you agree with me that Cat is that dude? Like, I think especially at 9,300 on FanDuel, I just don't know how he doesn't satisfy that price point with all the the prerequisites of this one, in terms of him being a lock button for me. The only thing that shakes is the 9.5 point spread.
Yeah, I wouldn't be scared of that either, right? The Timberwolves are not that good. Yeah, they just beat the Warriors, right? But for them to get there, either for Cat to fail, it's going to be either one foul trouble or like D-Russ catches fire or something like that, right? Other than that, where their points going to come from, Beasley, like I said, is one of those guys who plays 25 minutes off the bench. If he scores 20 like he did last game, Cat still have 40. I don't think he's going to take away from Cat. If anything, he's going to help keep the game, relatively competitive when Cat's on the bench. Mm-hmm. But like if you're talking about like in the pecking order, Beasley's like below both Cat and D-Russ, and I'm not shitting on Beasley because he's 3,200, right? I'm just saying the path for failure for Cat is like one or two ways. So I don't have an issue with that. Really quick, before I go into the Timberwolves side, are you seeing this high ownership on Pokusevski? Are you with this? He's supposed to be chalk.
On DK, yeah, like he's a permanent monster. So I understand it. I do. Anytime you give this guy minutes, he's live to be 1.2, 1.3 points per minute. The minutes can be a little bit susceptible, but I don't know. I
If we think everybody's going to be out, right? If they have little 9 warm bodies, he has to play 28 plus, right?
Yeah, and that's what he started last game. I would imagine that happens again. It wasn't any like foul trouble or anything to keep him under 30 minutes, but he's never really a big minute guy anyway. But if you get 30 minutes of Pokusevski, he's live for 30 plus fantasy points. So if that's the expectation and really the median expectation, then the price is inefficient. So I agree that he's a good play. I understand the ownership. Big slate. Maybe we find reasons to be contrarian. I don't think he's as flimsy as some of the other guys that might elevate in ownership. But I understand why people want to play him.
That makes sense. I think that I'm a fan of Trey Mann today on the OKC side for the very same reasons, right? I think he's somebody who can actually score. Like he's an actual scorer versus Pokusevski being more of a peripheral. Where he had 11 boards, a couple of assists last game. More like he reminds me of like the Jack of all trades type of thing. Trey Mann just had a stretch last week to a week and a half ago, dropping like almost 40 straight in 4 straight games. So at 5,500 on DraftKings against this, like you said, porous, fast-paced Timberwolves team, sign me up for that. He dropped 35, almost 40 on the Suns. And that was impressive for me at 5,500. I would have took that. He was at 5K at the time. So yeah, sign me up for some Trey Man as well. On the Timberwolves side, not really in love with anybody outside of maybe some obviously Towns. You got D Russ, who's under 8K. Which is under 8K, but saying that he's the most expensive he's been almost all year at 7,900 on DraftKings. So he's doing this thing. Obviously, the usage bump he's going to have around anywhere from 25 to 30%, considering that Anthony Edwards is out. He becomes the beta versus the tertiary third option. And you play everybody against the Timberwolves. I mean, against the Thunder. The Thunder suck at all aspects of defense. So if the game stays competitive, I'll take the two-headed monster there. I don't think I'm going to get into the weeds with but Beverly, McDaniels, Vanderbilt. Probably not going to go there. So probably going to leave it as D. Russ and Cat.
33% assist rate for D. Russ in the split with him and Cat on the court together. Edwards off the court. And then Cat, 35% usage. 1.5 DKP points per minute. 1.4 on the Fanduel side of things. That's what you want. I'll take it. Give me some big Cat. Let's get caught up on chat. D-Mitch has 44 fantasy points versus New Orleans last 2 games this year. He was balling. Yeah, I mean, KJ, I agree with that, but he's like 9K, right? So if we expect a 7-game or was a big Friday night slate to be a big Friday night slate, I'm going to need 50 plus to really be live. But I'm not discrediting the spot for Mitchell. I think it's an opportunity for Mitchell to maybe be lower on him. McCollum, Gobert, or passive access for me to that game. And then the Bojan price point also feels like I might have a sprinkle of that. Steve says J-Val is not awful. Someone other than Rudy has to go out to cover him. Stretch 5, maybe starts chucking.
He doesn't camp the 3-point line. Was my point. That was like J-Val will shoot maybe 2 or 3 a game, but like he's not a value. He's not a Jokic who's going to pull. Jokic dominates Rudy Gobert almost every single time. Like J-Val is. I'm not saying he's trash. Like that wasn't the point I was making. I was mostly saying that he's going to be banging in the paint with Gobert, and I'll take Gobert 5 out of 5 times against Jonas Valanciunas.
Christian Wood drops 60 on this bum. No. Speaking of Christian Wood, why am I whispering? I don't know, because we just do stuff differently, and then you raise it slowly like a Jake Roberts promo, but you don't ever yell. Houston Rockets projected starting 5. You want to play 21?
Kevin, found out you was in choir.
Who, me?
Yeah, with your decibel manipulation.
Decibel manipulation. Okay, I like that. I've never heard that. That's just from promo class, right? Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Eric Gordon, Jay Tate, Christian Wood. I'll be Monte Morris, Will Barton, Aaron Gordon, Jeff Green, Ed, Nikola Jokic. 239 is our total. 13.5 point spread in favor of the Denver Nuggets. Rockets coming off a game where they were 15-point dogs against the aforementioned Jazz Onions of Utah. And the Nuggets coming off a game where they were double-digit favorites against the Thunder. And both spreads did not quite live up to the reputation. Rockets look like they will have Eric Gordon in this one, but Dennis Schroeder, I believe we downgraded him to doubtful while being live. So we might get an opportunity to expect 30-plus minutes for Kevin Porter. And take that as you may. Around 6K, I'm looking for 30-plus fantasy points. I definitely think that's live. And in that last outing, he put up massive numbers against the Utah Jazz. Had double-digit assists. But the Kevin Porter, the Christian Wood trust train has definitely not been a fun ride all year. You never quite know what you're going to get when you roster Kevin Porter Jr., 40, 21 minutes, 29, 36.
It's because of the team. The team is so bad.
They're tanking. They're getting blown out. The coaches, the change. I get it. But
I'm not a Kevin Porter truther. I'm just saying it's just hard to. And I was agreeing with you. You don't ever know what you're going to get out of this team. They go beat the Jazz or stay competitive for the Jazz, and then a couple games ago they got smoked by the Clippers. So it's like, who are you? What is your identity?
Who? So 6K for Kevin Porter Jr. I'll put that in the mix for 30-plus fantasy points. How much I get of that, we'll see. Jay Shante, Christian Wood, I don't mind throwing them in the mix as well. But with this spread being what it is, I'm going to honor Vegas a little bit more and just kind of not get overboard here. But I just think potential minutes and usage is there strong enough for me to get behind. And then Jokic. Right now in my slot projections, Jokic leads all players in fantasy points projected. Hiccup. He has a $1,500 discount on his Fanduel price to his DraftKings price. And while it has been a couple of slates since he put up slate breaking numbers at this price point, he does have 70-plus fantasy point potential. And matchups, they literally don't get better than the Houston Rockets. They just don't. All year long, the Houston Rockets have surrendered the most fantasy points per game to opposing bigs. Also, it's Nikola Jokic. So nothing really matters because it's Nikola Jokic. He could drop 70 on just about any team in the league if the game stayed competitive long enough, strong enough. But this is a massive spot for all the peripherals. And then, if the Rockets did hang in there, Jokic could have one of those 20, 30-point triple-doubles where he's getting dumb amounts of rebounds. So do like Jokic. Also, the Rockets lead the league in turnovers, steals allowed per game. Jokic, 1.4 steals per game. So a couple more defensive peripherals to tack on here. But it really all comes down to, does it stay close or not? Chat, are you guys game scripting it to stay close or nah? And Chronic, what are you doing with Rockets and Nuggets?
I thought this game stays close, but I mean, if you do somehow think that, hey, maybe Christian Wood carries them, or so I don't know, like whatever your KPJ is, the second coming of Allen Iverson or something. I don't know. But if you think it stays close, there is some value here, right? There is Kevin Porter Jr. at 6K. Could drop anywhere from like 30, probably at a minimum, to like 40 to 45. He can't do that. Mm-hmm. As you can see from the index portal of the spreadsheet, Houston is bad against everybody. And every single position they play, not a lick of defense. So I won't fault you for playing anybody on the Denver side if you think it's going to be competitive. One thing I say about Jokic is that it was 2 games that they played already this season. He didn't go over 54 DKP, and one game was 15-point win, and the other one was a 1-point win, 95 to 94. Obviously, context, right? I think in the November game, I'm pretty sure Maga Porter was still playing. So there's some context there. Different teams. 12-6 is a hard pill to swallow. I think 1v1, I take the 2,000 off and go ahead and play cat, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have more cat than anything, but sometimes we worry about the game staying close and potential blowouts. I have been leaning on shopping first half props on PrizePicks, so if I still want to say I got to have some type of Jokic against the Nuggets. Maybe I don't accomplish it in DFS. I can look at PrizePicks and check out what they might have in the first half. They got 13.5 real points for Jokic in the first half, 28 fantasy points for Jokic in the first half. That's a hefty line. That's dang near implying him for 60 Fanduel points. But that's what I have him literally.
Yeah, that's what we have him for, right?
Yeah,
and some places got him higher, just depending on. Oh wait, never mind, because it's DK scoring versus FanDuel, so it's a little bit different there. So let me ask you this: so we're talking about Jokic here, but we know that he has this extreme volatility when it comes to this slate in this game. 1v1, Jokic or Giannis?
Giannis.
100%.
I mean, just check box 240 versus a tighter spread.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, Giannis.
Yeah, the weakness of the Chicago Bulls defense being the interior. That's what Giannis, armor titan. I dunk ball. That's what he does. And it's a $300 discount. That doesn't really matter, right? But in the grand scheme of things, they're just they're the most comparable. Because I know I brought up Cat, but Cat's $2,500 cheaper. So I just wanted to just give context there.
Yeah. You know what else we want to give context to?
What's that?
How awesome PrizePicks is. PrizePicks
when
is
you're winning.
Hey, we won a lot last night. A lot. We were due. So many hooks went our way for once. Gosh, dang it. Chad, if you guys are out there and you've been researching DFS for years, you're playing FanDuel, man, you have to try PrizePicks. You just do. If you don't have access to sports betting, it's a good way to kind of get you ready for. Hopefully, your state will open up too eventually. But the player props, the identifying matchups, the opportunities for guys to excel in spots that maybe we can't take advantage of them because of their price today in DFS. It just doesn't mesh with what we need. PrizePicks is a good medium to accomplish your access to those players, diversify your daily spend, and better reward that individual research you're doing, because us knowing that Jokic could go off in the first half doesn't really matter when some random third stringer from another team goes off because of a couple of injuries in front of him, and then your night's ruined because you have to beat 200,000 entries. Well, you don't have to do that on PrizePicks. You can 10x your money and get your dubs that way. And we've seen a lot of dubs lately. And our boy Josh, that did the PrizePicks stream with Josh right before this stream, he cleared over 2K on PrizePicks last night alone using all of the props that we've discussed on these shows. So if you guys want to support this stream, keep a lot of this content free, keep that free Discord bells and whistled. Try PrizePicks. Enjoy it. I think you will. Sign up using code GUNDACKER, and they'll double your first deposit up to $100. So you don't have to do the full 100. You can put $20 on it. They'll make it $40. And then it's it's a lot of fun. Chronic, you can attest that PrizePicks definitely. And you as a working man now, right? Mm-hmm. Where you can't spend hours on a normal day breaking down slates and oh crap, I put it on the wrong screen. And you can't spend hours on a slate researching everything and knowing a little bit of everything, but you can get off work and have 30 minutes to get a couple of leans here and there on where you want to be. And I think this is the happy little medium. But
yeah. Especially if you're a Run DFS subscriber, right? Like, you got Josh doing all the heavy lifting for you, and then you could just double check what you like with Guns projections and go from there. So Josh is amazing. He's added so much value. I would say so much more value to the membership as well. And I'm a company man, so hey, RunDFS.com.
Yeah, screenshot channel last night. Josh's hits. 4-pick power, or $500 here on a $50 card, $400 on a $40 card, $500 on a $50 card, $500 on a $50 card. I mean, Josh, literally over and over and over. Marshawn lynched him, bro. $200 on a $20 card. Josh just went nuts last night. And then in the free Discord that we launched, description below, link in there. Click on that. Get in there. The first 100 of you guys that get in this new free Discord will get the first 100 roll. And then you guys can share your fire in the screenshot roll. And like I said, just keep the vibes high and be happy for each other. And then we'd be happy for you. And then we have 200 plus viewers right now. So if you guys haven't hit that like button yet, you're going to want to do it because at 120 likes, we'll give away a week pass at rundfs.com. We have one game left on the docket. It's the New York Knicks up against the Phoenix Suns. Project starting five for the Knicks: Alec Burks, Evan Fournier, R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson taking on Cam Payne like it's election season.
I was gonna say that I'm a sucker for pain. You know that song?
I'm just a sucker for pain. Do it for the fam, dog.
10 toes down, dog.
10 toes down, dog. Landry Shamet may or may not start. Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, and DeAndre Ayton, and a betting on him to do well in the first half. Yes! Yes! 2-2-2, and another one, 2 is our total. 6.5 point spread in favor of the home team, Phoenix Suns. The Suns, they showed that they don't need Devin Booker and Chris Paul to smack around the Portland Trailblazers. Knicks, they're going to slow the pace down a little bit and hopefully perform a little bit better as a team, as a unit, as an offense, keep this game competitive. We learned that Monty Williams wanted to keep Cameron Payne's minutes closer to 25-minute bursts. We'll see if that is something he sticks to in this spot. And they kind of staggered him and Cameron Johnson as the primary facilitators. So Johnson.
I tried not to laugh.
I was gonna set you up and say, "Oh, God,
Lord have mercy."
I was gonna set you up with a Payne or Johnson. I don't know. There was a joke in there somewhere that I meant to say Chronic, and then I said Johnson because I was thinking of the joke. Fudge, man. Oh, Chronic, what are you doing with this game? You want DeAndre Ayton had such a good start last game, and it just fizzled out second half. So I was talking with Josh about what to do with him here. Do we want to take advantage of Ayton, where it feels like without Devin Booker, without Chris Paul, he should thrive? However, it's a slow-paced matchup. The Knicks got some beef in that front court, and they don't really surrender a whole lot of fantasy points to opposing bigs. But it's 7K Ayton, and we know the usage rate is probably going to spike. Maybe the minutes not so much, but I think the minutes could be in the mid-30s if the game stayed somewhat competitive. I'm corpsing over here, man. I'm struggling. Let's go to the on-off court tool here in NBA Valley via add more funds. And let's put DeAndre Ayton on the court. Now that we have a little bit of sample size, let's take off Paul and Booker. We also saw Jay Crowder kind of step up last game, put up some real points, and then we know Cameron Johnson will play a lot of minutes as well. And Mikal Bridges, he might play 40 minutes in that split. So a lot to compensate for without Devin Booker and Chris Paul. That could be 30, 40 implied points and 15-plus assists. Ayton has a 22.5% usage rate this year in this split with a 1.26 fantasy point per minute rate on Fanduel. So I don't know. What are your leans on this one? Any pain?
Any pain in my Johnson? I do like Payne. I think Payne is going to be one of my favorite value plays of the day. 4,800. It sucks because there's no way Monty Williams is going to reveal his hand before saying if it's going to be like back to that 5-minute spurts. That because he only played 20 minutes. He dropped 25 DKP.
So
only played.
In the first half, I don't know. Let me pull the rotation up for that one. In the first half, he had a decent stretch and then didn't touch the court in the fourth quarter. So I'm not going to say that coaches are dang dirty liars, but if he played 20 minutes in three quarters, could there have been 25 minutes on the table in a competitive game in the fourth quarter? Yes.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the more he plays, the more it helps out Ayton. Ayton can't really create his own shot, right? He's not that guy. He's closer to Rudy Gobert than he is Karl Anthony Towns. So, he needs to catch ball, dribble over one shoulder, and go from there. What? He's not about to sauce you up. What? So the point I'm making is I think that pick and roll is going to help Ayton out. I think it's going to, it's probably, if you're telling me Cam Payne played more in the first half, Ayton played better in the first half. I don't know, maybe a little correlation there. But if you believe in Ayton, you have to believe in campaign because nobody else is setting him up. Bridges gonna go. Bridges is gonna look for his own shot. Jay Crowder, when last time he's passed the ball. So yeah, I think that's going to be a correlation there. So if you have Ayton, I think you have to like Cameron Payne. I like Cameron Payne by himself. If you're gonna play some Ayton, I would probably cuff them together.
Election season, like I'm campaign, airing out my dirty laundry. I don't know.
Sham it.
God sham it, Bobby.
Hey, on the Knicks side of the ball, I know we really don't pick on the Suns because of that defense, but they're not the same defense. Maybe without Booker and Paul. I think more so Paul than Booker. Anybody you like on that side? Whether there's Alex Burks, was Evan Fournier who dropped 24, then the last game dropped 3. And you never really can understand what he's doing. RJ Barrett has been scoring monstrous amount of points lately. Anybody on the Knicks side that you can get jiggy with?
I might take a gamble on minutes. RJ Barrett and Julius Randle will play a whole lot of minutes. I think the price is kind of caught up to RJ Barrett. Without Kemba Walker, he's been thriving here. Maybe Evan Fournier slips through with a 30, but I'm not getting any massive projections based on these prices. RJ Barrett's been kind of adjusted. This is much like Australia Chronic, an island game where it's an hour after that 9 p.m. Nuggets game. So if you're hurting for a late night hammer, if you want something like that, maybe you can swap some of your Ayton, Crowder, Bridges into some of these Knicks and try and get some of that lower owned leverage and hope it works. But nothing's popping based on price points. Maybe Alec Burks on Fanduel 4,600, especially if he's going to continue to be forward eligible and get behind that. But no warm and fuzzies ever on a Tom Thibodeau New York Knicks.
Yeah, I feel that. I think Alec Burks is probably the smartest play out of the group. If you're talking about where his price point is at 5,300, playing point guard, against Cameron Payne, who's already known for defense. Landry Shamet doesn't play defense at all either. He just doesn't really have a high usage rate for me, so he can play a lot of minutes and not do too much. I think my favorite play on that other side of the ball and projections be damn at this point. RJ Barrett, right? I think is he going to catch Mikal Bridges? Probably. But hey, he did it against Matisse Thybulle, and I think they're basically the same type of defender. Matisse Thybulle doesn't play. He plays around 24, 25 minutes. RJ Barrett plays 40. So it's hard to say, but if you had to pick somebody from that side, I don't know about Randall against the big guys up front. They're pretty good defenders. RJ Barrett's on the tear. I'm gonna ride it until he drops 5. So yeah.
Come on, ride the train. And ride it. Chat, Chronic's about to go to Australia. When you go to Australia? Next week?
Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Tuesday. Chat, Chronic is going to Australia on Tuesday. So do you get there on Monday? How does that work?
So I'll be there. I get there Tuesday, and it's around a 30-ish hour flight, like just travel time. So I would get the Thursday Australia time, which would be Wednesday night here.
Okay.
So Australia is 14 hours in the future, not behind. So my Tuesday would be your Monday.
Got it. Not confused at all. Should be fun, man. I'm excited to see you tour and share pictures. I've always loved Australia and the culture, and anytime an Australian is speaking, I'm captivated. I've been watching a lot of the Ukraine coverage, and on YouTube there's an Australian channel that streams, and I just watched them because I just love the
I listen to breakdowns of like the slates at the end of the slate, like what happened by Josh Lloyd, Basketball Monster. He's Australian and he's fucking hilarious.
Chat, you guys got anything else on this slate, man? We hit all of our points of emphasis, so I don't think did we get a light call? I don't think we got 120. I don't think we did it. So I don't have to give away a $20 week pass. Hey, man, put a dove in my pocket. Don't mind me, unless you guys hit thumbs up right now and get to 120. You only need about 30 of them. By the way, what is our record for thumbs up? 180, I think. Living in the Hall of Fame. 189 is the Hall of Fame live like record. So technically, you guys could hit that, but this is actually a low stream for views. Chronic, I don't know, man. I think you lost your luster, bro.
You think so? I'm not as much as a draw as I used to be. Back to the mid card, right?
I'm gonna send you off. We'll put you in developmental for a couple streams, and then
for sure.
Getting caught up on chat. Looks like chat's debating the Cavs center matchup. Lose a day traveling, and that messes up your birthday forever. Yeah, it doesn't. I don't know. I don't know.
He's right.
Mox says I set my Google Home voice to the Aussie gal. I like that.
That's actually pretty smart.
That is pretty. I didn't even know you could do that. I wonder if I could change the text alert to like an. I don't know. I have to look around. I don't know. Chat. If you're on Twitter, twitter.com/Gundacker, and then Chronic VI, like a 6. Finally, I have a co-host whose Twitter I can remember, and it doesn't sound hard to push, man. Right after the stream, Chronic, you gonna be in the Discord voice chat? No.
Yeah, I'm here all day, man.
Yeah, all right. So right after the stream, you can join me and Chronic, or in about 30 minutes in the RunDFS.com Discord. We'll be in that NBA voice chat, having some fun. It's a Friday. You're feeling the Friday vibes. We're gonna have a little bit of fun, so don't come in there too serious. Nobody gets out alive. But if you guys want to come hang out with us, $20, man, that gets you in there for a week. Every one of our passes come with a utility with a credit towards Fancy Cruncher. So if you want to throw my projections into Cruncher and go from there, you can. When you do upgrade your membership, click VIP portal. You'll have a link to the NBA VIP spreadsheet. That'll show you my player pool, my ownerships, my projections, the RunDFS.com index portal, and then there's a link to the Discord, which looks like this, and we'll be right here, right? You jump in here, you click NBA chat, click on that, grab a mic, meet a friend, make a friend, listen in. If you're shy, you could type in chat. I would say we don't fight, but we do. It's gonna be crazy. Maybe we'll
Jordan versus LeBron.
Yeah, we gotta get Raj to go off the deep end one last time. I don't know why it feels like we're sending you to war or we're watching you die. We're literally gonna talk the same. But hey, you never know. You never know. Mox says my wife looked at me funny but didn't say anything. F that, this show is the bomb. Hey, appreciate that, Garrett.
Appreciate it.
Steve, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to do a 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. Eastern stream. I think. Don't quote me on that. If I do, it'll probably have the homie Coach Old School from Coach, DFS Coach. So look out for that. If not, Monday. But if you're on Twitter, I'll let you know. And if you're in either of the Discords, you'll be notified. So that's going to do it. Chronic, any hot takes for the road?
Hot takes. Bold calls. Let's bring them back.
Oh, okay. All
Bold
right.
calls. Let me see. Hold on. I was definitely not prepared for this. But let me.
Chronic,
you know how
drop 70. Bam. That's mine.
Man,
Yeah.
we got a 50 ball coming from Brogdon today, man. The Pistons defense sucks. Cade Cunningham, even if he plays, won't be full. Won't be fully functional. So give me Malcolm Brogdon 50 bomb today. 7,200. He's gonna be up there for you.
I dig it. Chat. See you guys around. I love you guys. Good luck. God bless. Go in. Some money. Looking for end scene. Stalling. There it is. Found it. Bear claws.
You know, after when you MC, you can still hear you.
Yes, and they can hear you say that they can still hear us.